Let's try to get the thumbnail for the video. Hey everybody. So for this video, I want to discuss modifications to your pistol. This is not going to be the entire gambit that covers like concealed carry or competition modifications, but it's just high level things that I want to discuss because I've been thinking about it deeply and predominantly because I went to an event called The Quest in Georgia where Scott Jedlinski of the Modern Samurai Project, Brian Hill of the Complete Combatant, and AJ Zito of Practical Performance had a 3-day event, a class, where they covered red dot fundamentals, foundations of shooting, performance shooting, and some defensive use. It was a really good class. If you can get into it for 2026, I highly recommend it. And during this class, Scott Jedlinski ran through his black belt standards. His black belt standards are the toughest standards currently on the market, uh, and they are all variations of a theme. If you can deliver a very fast draw with appropriate vision and grip, and especially under pressure, that's the tough one, then you have a chance at earning its pretty cool black belt patch. So I earned that patch number 60 with this stock Glock 19. Uh, I say stock because the only thing I changed on it was I added an X300U. I added the Langdon Tactical Grip Anchor designed by Mitchell Booth and Ernest Langdon. And I added the Langdon Tactical Striker Control Device, which was called something else before Langdon Tactical acquired them. Everything else about this gun is stock. It's the same slide. It's the same barrel. It's the same trigger system. It's the same trigger shoe. It's the same grip texture. I didn't add any grip tape. I actually didn't even add a beaver tail. I probably should have used the medium one, but I just wanted to know the performance that I could get by running an off-the-shelf Glock 19. And yes, this is the Kowa system, which is technically uh, stock for Glock. It's just really hard to get it in October of 25 because they're just kind of hard to get for regular citizen use. But this is stock, and I have thoughts about it. So what I'm going to cover this video is making modifications to your pistol to make it more responsive and fun. The reason for this is this pistol is harder to shoot at a higher performance level because it is not as responsive as other guns. Now, before other Glock fanboys start typing in angry comments, just hold on for a second. I myself am actually a Glock fanboy. I like Glocks. I keep buying Glocks. I don't know why, because they look like every other Glock. I'm a Glock certified Glock master in GSSF. I have the tax statements to prove it. They will tax you, or the government will tax you if you earn more than 2 Glocks a year. Ask me how I know. And I like Glocks. The Gen 5 Glocks are some of the best pistols literally ever made. If you could go out and get a Glock and never buy another gun, you're not really hurting, especially because now these are black belt certified, for at least the stock version is. Uh, so, but the problem with this gun is that it is harder to shoot at a higher level of performance because it is not as responsive. The trigger is very mediocre, and the grip texture is kind of not as responsive as other guns. Let me show you what I mean. So, the main reason that I prefer traditional double action guns is because of the trigger system. You have that long, consistent double action trigger press, followed by really nice single action trigger presses. Now, I know some people will say, oh, he prefers traditional double action guns because you get really fast single action trigger presses, and it's really nice. You know what, that is somewhat true. But that being said, though, I actually get faster splits with this Glock 19. There's a short I posted where I'm able to get 13 and 14s and some 12s with this gun. The fastest split I ever got was actually with this gun. It was an 11. That's currently my potential, and that's probably more because I shot this gun a whole lot. But the one thing that I really nice, or two things I really like about the trigger system on a traditional double action is I get good feedback on the double action trigger press. And then after the double action trigger press, the trigger gets out of my way and allows me to do whatever I need to do. If I need to shoot fast, I can shoot fast. If I need to shoot more careful, I can be extremely careful with the single action trigger. The double action I really like because I can steer the gun more easily. Steering the gun with my finger looks like this. It's a little. I'm exaggerating for the camera, but I earned my first black belt patch from the Modern Samurai Project with this gun, and I steered the dot into the A zone for both the sub 1 second draw at 7 yards and for the 1.5 second shot at 25 yards. I literally had to steer the dot in with the double action trigger. And then for the bill drills and the 3x2, the trigger got out of the way. The traditional double action has an extremely responsive trigger, especially when it's really tuned, because it has a consistent double action trigger press that gives me more feedback for accurate shots, and then the trigger just gets out of the way. This contrasts with the Glock trigger, where it's a mediocre trigger press for the draw, for follow-up shots, and for careful shots, and for precise or not for careful shots and then urgent shots. Sorry, Glock gang. It is a mediocre trigger compared to traditional double actions. Even a mediocre traditional double action has more responsiveness than a stock Glock trigger. To get around this, what I would recommend is, well, you should probably just send your gun to Boresight to do good work. But installing a wider trigger shoe. A wider trigger shoe allows you to steer the gun more. And of course, getting trigger work that meets your context, whether it's concealed carry or competition. Boresight will do both. I think Boresight leans more towards defensive citizen or law enforcement use. But they will do trigger work inside this gun that makes this trigger more consistent and more responsive to the inputs that you put in on it. If you need to steer the gun, you can, or the trigger gets more out of your way. But it's still a mediocre trigger compared to traditional double action trigger presses. Having or modifying your gun to be responsive also applies to the grip. The grip texture on this Glock 19 feels really nice out of the box or in the store, but once you start sweating on it, once you spill oil on it, or your hands are oily, or sometimes covered in like blood or something, or for some of you Glock guys, you're kind of weird, peanut butter or weird stuff, whatever you get on your gun, it's not as nice. It's not a consistent, reliable texture as other textures. Adding grip tape really helps out, but for me, I had to add a whole lot of grip chalk in my hands for two reasons. One, modifying your grip needs to be responsive for two reasons. It needs to give you immediate feedback, and two, it needs to make your grip reliable under pressure. By reliable, I mean that. Well, let's talk about the first one, which is to get your give immediate feedback. So the Glock's actually really good about this. Your hands can really only be correct in one area. Everything else slides right off, or it just feels really, really wrong. But a Glock with really good grip texture, like this Agency Arms, gives me immediate feedback when my hands are set. I know exactly where this is because it is gripping me back. If my hands are giving me better feedback, I'm able to shoot faster, or rather sooner, because I have the appropriate grip cues already set. And two, with good grip texture, your grip is more reliable. If your hands are sweaty, oily, or whatever, they don't slide off as much, and your hands are set. Whereas for this Glock, like I'm applying the same amount of pressure, and you can see my hands sliding down. I have to apply grip chalk, or I have to send my guns off to Boresight or Agency Arms or something to have professional stippling added to it. I had to do the same thing with this PX4, and I'll show you my other Beretta, because I added this grip tape. And it's my video, so I'm going to have a small, funny rant. The worst grip texture in the world is actually on this PX4, which I got the year of our Lord John Moses Browning, 2025. This grip texture is slick. It's so slick. It's probably slicker than like a clean bathroom floor. I dug this gun out to poke fun a little bit at Beretta, but it is slicker than this SIG, which is from West Germany. Sorry, my Gen X friends and boomers that are watching this. This is an ancient weapon. It says West Germany on it, and the texture on this is better than the current PX4s. Solutions exist like Grip Tape or Black Diamond grip skate tape. Black Diamond skate tape that was from my friend on Instagram, Fundad Gundad, who makes good stuff. But the PX4 needs to have better grip texture from the factory. Rant over. Okay, but Modifying your pistol to be responsive by having a wider trigger shoe or having grip texture will do a couple different things. One, it'll allow you to have better feedback on your trigger or allow your trigger to get out of the way. And two, it will allow you to have more immediate feedback, whether your grip is set or not, allow your grip to be more repeatable and predictable under pressure. Finally, we get to the last part of the video, fun. So you should modify your pistols for it to be fun. If a pistol is fun and you like it, you'll practice it more, you'll shoot more, and you'll handle it more. By fun, I mean my latest gun kind of mimics all of that. So first of all, this is a double action only. Look at that. This is a 92D XR, pretty rare. You can look those up. Heavily modified by Leighton Tactical, or at least modified enough. I've made choices on this gun so that it provides me appropriate feedback for both my grip and my trigger. And it looks awesome. It looks cool. It's got the Leighton Tactical logo on here and on the slide. I'm missing a grip screw, my bad. It is like black and silver. That's really cool. The Vortex Defender, I think ST, that looks kind of cool on this. I may change it. I literally just put it on because it's a Delta Point footprint I ordered. But this is a cool gun. It's a really cool gun. It makes me want to shoot more. Because it's cool, it makes me want to touch it, makes me want to dry fire it, makes me want to handle it, makes me want to do stupid things like like support hand only, strong hand only, or wherever you want to phrase it as. Makes me want to modify it. I added on these better lock grips with the Veloce palm swell textures. There's literally no better grip texture currently on the market than this for Berettas. You should buy them. They're really nice. And this gun kind of shows all that. It has a really nice trigger that is just absolutely to die for. Like I just rest my finger on the trigger and it's already pressed into the rear. It looks cool. It feels cool. The grip allows me to know when my grip cues are immediately set. It allows me to be predictable under pressure. And the trigger is great. I'm rambling a little bit now, so I'll go ahead and just cut this video a little bit short. So you should modify your pistol so that it provides you with good feedback, both for your trigger and both for your grip. Obviously, there are other considerations you need to take that's outside the scope of this video, such as like safety or whether you should modify a pistol for concealed carry or not, or competition. That's outside the scope of this video. But you should modify your pistol to give you good feedback, and because it's fun. Fun pistols will make you train more, and pistols that give you feedback will make you shoot better. That's it. Thank you for your time.